I am Matt Hernandez, and this is Book Chat with You. In this and almost every episode, I want to make it be a conversation with you. I want to know what platforms I could use to chat with you about literature, because I don't know. I've posted some things on the bottom, and I'm sending these all throughout social media. But anyways, so today we're still looking at Carol Shields' collection of short stories, and we are looking at her short story, Fragility. I love this story, and this story is just what I needed to read exactly when I needed to read it. And this story is about, well, I guess you can say three people, a an unnamed man, his wife Ivy, and their real estate agent Margie Little. Now, the whole perspective is on Ivy. In the story, it's starting out, they are flying from Toronto to Vancouver, and they're flying to Vancouver to look at some houses. If all doesn't turn out well, they'll probably come over there again and look at some houses. They get there, and one of the first houses they look at, they call it a divorce house. Well, especially Ivy. She's pinpointing little details to maybe not like about it. Now, one thing to keep in mind as they look at some houses is how they kept sort of changing their son Christopher's room as he was dealing with an illness and died at a young age. So, but part of that perception or something in their in their minds about what a house looks like is especially in Ivy's mind. Now, one of the next houses they go to, which they spend, this is what, about a 12 page story. And then they spend a few pages on another house of the mother of a very famous movie actor. And then later on, they've sort of made their own acronym, DH, meaning divorce house. And and as they look at houses, they sort of also judge it on whether or not it's a divorce house or not. Now, I don't get any feeling that there's any strains between their relationship, between the unnamed narrator and his wife, Ivy, but she still wants her to be so-called good vibrations. And, then as the story progresses, the real estate agent, Margie Little, says, well, I live in a divorce house, and it's not so bad oftentimes. Ivy apologized to her, and then they look at the first house again, and they figure that they want it. It's in a beautiful area. Yes, some things need to be fixed, but it's a really good house. And what I like about the story is that something about Carol Shields' style of writing really makes all of this so relaxing to read. I mean, so whenever I read here pages 116 and 117, you will see for yourself. I mean, it could almost be like accidental or something. I mean, this is not all something, an easy subject matter to be dealing with grieving of one's own lost son, and moving like this could be very stressful. And I'm kind of in the middle of a move myself. And yet somehow Carol Shields writes all this in a way that's relaxing to read. So if one is going through such a situation themselves, and you read this, I mean, you are not going to feel so tense about the whole thing. You well, I don't know. I'll read this for you. Okay. So I'm going to show this on the screen here as usual, right here. And I'm going to read here pages 116 and 117. Now look at the bulbs. I point out tulips halfway up, daffodils, lilies, Ivy says. I think we've struck it lucky. I tell a real estate woman who's showing us around, a Mrs. Margie Little. Call me Marge, she said to us with her West Coast breeziness. Afterward in the car, Ivy is so quiet I have to prompt her. Well, Marge Little, sitting at the wheel, peers at me, then at Ivy. Ivy begins. It's just so depressing. Depressing? I can't believe that she's saying this. A view, central location, a fireplace, plus bulbs. Well, Ivy says slowly, it's a divorce house. You must have noticed. I hadn't. A divorce house? How do you know? I looked in the closets. Her clothes were there, but his weren't. Oh, and half the pictures had been taken off the wall. Surely you noticed that. I shake my head. I know it sounds silly, but wouldn't you rather move into a house with some good, she pauses, some good vibrations? Vibrations? Did you notice the broken light in the bathroom? I'll bet someone threw something at it in a rage. We can always fix the light and the other things with our own furniture. Ivy is an accountant. Once I heard a young man at her firm describe her as a crack accountant. For a number of years now, she's been a senior partner. When this same young man heard that she was leaving because of my transfer, he couldn't help ragging her a little, saying he thought women didn't move at the whim of their husbands anymore, and that out of principle she ought to refuse to go to Vancouver or else arrange some kind of compromise life, separate apartments, for instance, with weekend rendezvous in Winnipeg. Ivy and had howled at this. She's a positive, good-natured woman, and as it turned out, she had no trouble finding an opening in a good Vancouver firm at senior level. As I say, she's positive, which is why which is why her apprehension over her bad vibrations is puzzling. Can it be she sees bad times ahead for the two of us? Or is it that she wants to find solid footing after these long years with Christopher? Neither of us is quite glued back together again. Not that we ever will be. I can't help it, Ivy is saying. It just doesn't feel like a lucky house. There's something about it. Marge Little interrupts with a broad smile. I've got all kinds of interesting houses to show you. Maybe you'll like the next one better. Does it have good vibes? Ivy asks, laughing a little to show that she's only half serious. I don't know. Marge Little says, they don't put that kind of info on the fact sheet. The next house is perched on the side of the canyon. No, that's not quite true. It is, in fact, falling into the canyon. I notice, but don't mention the fact that the outside foundation walls are cracked and patched. Inside the house is alarmingly quiet, or alarmingly empty. The cool, settled air seems proof that it's been vacant for some time. Yeah, I mean, I, I can clearly read the way that the narrator feels that maybe Ivy might feel that there's cracks in their own relationship, but I don't really get that sense reading this. I mean, I don't know, you want to move into the right place. I mean, as I've changed a few apartments, I mean, the layout matters and that type of thing. I mean, what might you look for in these things? I mean, I always want to pose questions back to you, and some stories provide that opportunity more to ask questions back to you. But I mean, I'm going to be living with my in-laws for a little bit as we figured things out. And it seems like, at least at the time of Carol Schiltz writing these stories, it was a better era to be doing things like moving at the necessity of one's own spouse when they transfer, because, both people can find work. And sometimes it seems like that's not always the case now in the US, right? It seems quite scary. But stories like this, it helps us, I don't know, rebalance and feel calm and relaxed again, because we can certainly use that at times. And I hope that you can read this story, and I hope that, I don't know what platform on social media, but I hope that we can chat about this story together. It certainly is a very relaxing story, and I think I'm kind of repeating myself, which is why I like to show the words, show some of the text on the screen and read it, because sometimes it gives me more things to think about and stuff. But I think I might be kind of shaken a bit if my wife told me, oh, this is a divorce house. Like, oh my gosh, man, are you really going to do that right now? Oh my gosh, are we going to do this in the car? We're going to talk about that. Are you mad at me? Did I do something? But somehow through Carol Schiltz writing, I don't get that impression. I just feel that this is another event in their life, and they're still grieving, and that maybe they want to move and make it just right. And I've been pretty adaptable, where maybe a specific place might not matter for me at times, but it doesn't. I don't know. Well, that's all I can think of to say. So have a wonderful day, and see you later. Bye.